Welcome to Ulua. You live, you work, you art.
Hello again, this is Carol from Ulua, and today I'm going to talk about the dumb tools the tools we're using. I mean, tools cannot be dumb or smart or intelligent because that's about humans. That's intelligence or smartness. I don't know. Smartness is that no. Because intelligence is directly related to being a human. It's a capacity that we have as humans. So tools cannot be smart, cannot be intelligent, cannot be dumb either. But we tend to give them too much power over our brain. I've been saying this a lot. Again, maybe it's because of algorithm, which is not intelligent. Sorry, that's my opinion, my strong opinion on that. It's programmed by people like you and me. And I've seen a lot lately, again, what the algorithm wants me to see is that a certain tool, I won't name names, it says your second brain. I say, what? Your second brain? That's interesting. And, well, I don't know what to say. So, you know what they say. When you don't have anything good to say, just don't say anything. So I will move on. Remember when telephones starting to come as smartphones. At the beginning, I thought it was funny. I'm all right, yeah. At the beginning, I thought it was funny calling them smart, and I used to joke, "Oh, I don't want a smart phone. I want to be the smart one." That kind of thing, because I was also proud and stupid. But anyways, but yeah, I think we have, and I'm not against progress at all. I love having a smartphone where I can do almost everything with my smartphone. I can check my email, I can take selfies, I can take pictures of the things I want, I can take all my credentials, almost all my credentials in my phone, and I can pay from my phone. I can do so many things right now from my phone, but this doesn't make it smarter than me. I hope. Maybe it is smarter than me, I don't know. But we are, I guess we, as a society, I will say, because this is greater than me or you, we are being, I don't know if we are being, but we are acting like children sometimes. I know I do this with my pets also. I call them my baby and that kind of thing. But and I tell them that they are smart too, but at least I think they have some, they are not fully conscious, but I do think that they have some kind of soul conscious, limited conscious, I don't know, but at least they are alive. That's what I mean. Pets are alive, and our things may be robots soon, but they won't be alive anyways, and we are just giving to our tools too much power over ourselves. And I think that sometimes we are getting dumber than before. I am afraid about that because, again, I am old. Maybe this my fear only speaking. But I'm seeing this. I remember once. Sorry, I'm mixing so many things right now. I remember once I was working and I had this friend, and he told me, "You have to watch this movie." And I said, "I don't know. I wasn't that much into absurd movies or like comedy movies at the time. It was a long time ago. And I say, okay. And the name of the movie was Idiocracy. And I say, oh, it's just another stupid movie, but I will watch it because I trust him and he said that I should watch this. And I really think that we are now. I know if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. Not just for fun, but also after everything, after I see something or I read something or everything, I try to get somehow something out of it for my cottage mind to analyze and to process and to think and reflect what would happen if this were true, what would happen if this had something of it could happen to me, and that kind of reflection, right? Just to entertain my mind. And I always take out things, sometimes interesting, sometimes not, but yeah. And from my geography, I thought, wow. At the time, I remember it was like 20, at least 15 years ago, and I thought, yeah, it's a comedy, it's kind of fun. I don't think we will ever get to that point, right? But now I'm seeing things and I'm saying, maybe we are getting into a certain point where maybe President Camacho will be part of the picture now, and you have to watch the movie. But yeah, it's kind of scary that we are given too much. I mean, this is not about the tool, the movie itself, but the way we are using tools and we are interacting with them right now. And it's not only that, but at the same time, we are leaving aside our all comes to mind congéneres. In Spanish, it's like other human beings, my colleagues, the people that are around me, and we're leaving them aside and we're just focusing on talking to the tools and doing everything with our tools instead with another human being. And that is the part that is scary for me. Again, I might not see anything. I might not see President Camacho in a few years' time. I don't know. I hope not. But everything is like tending to a place of ridiculousness. Everything is so crazy right now nowadays, and I think we are not really learning from our past. Maybe because generations passed and we forget about the things that happened 100 years ago, and even 50 years ago, or 10 years ago. And I can say this because I'm about to be 50 in a few years' time. And for example, here in Argentina, when I was born, here we were under dictatorship, and now it's like it's forgotten, and people don't really know what happened 50 years ago, and it's in debate how many people disappeared and how many didn't disappear, and if it was this was true or this was not true. And we have forgotten about our past. What does it have to do with tools? You may ask. Well, everything and nothing at the same time. So yeah, it's because the way we interact with our tools. And the other day I was talking to a friend and she said, if you have a hammer, this is called I think the law of the instrument or something like that, is from Abraham Maslow. And he says that if you had a hammer as a tool, you will see everything as a nail. So it means that if you are an expert on a certain tool, you will want to apply this tool, this unique tool that you have at hand, to everything else that's around in the world. Every problem you say, I want a hammer. You might remember the episode of The Simpsons where Homer was learning to use a gun, and he did everything with his hand. When they say kill the light, boom, he killed the light, literally. So we tend to do that kind of thing. When we get attached to a certain tool, we tend to, maybe you specifically don't, but in general, we tend to use it for everything. Every problem we encounter, we use this tool. Maybe the more tools you have, that would be ideal. Maybe not just have one smart tool, but have thousands, or the most you have, the most you can have, better, because you will decide which one is better for this particular thing that you're doing. And again, might be because I was born in a home where my dad was doing so many things, and he had so many tools, and I learned to use so many tools at home and also at school, that I don't get attached to a certain tool. Because if you are only an expert at one tool, unless that's Swiss knife, I don't know, which has several tools in itself, could be helpful, I don't know. But in general, one tool is used for a limited amount of things you can do. And I was thinking about this the other time, and I also thought that maybe if you are truly an expert, but not at a tool, maybe more like an expert at solving problems, you will see that if you have this tool, and this tool isn't the adequate for the problem that you want to solve, as an expert or as a wise person, maybe, you will realize this is not the right tool for this. So we might have to use something else, or we might have to figure out something else. So what would be the good thing? To become a wise person. Maybe not an expert, because an expert is in certain things, but a wise person, it tends to have a more wide view of the things at hand, and a creative view and perspective, and different perspectives of the world. What I've seen also, and I'm about to talk about business right now, and about the world of business, and as a consultant, as a problem solver for businesses. What I've seen also is that many times people think that everything will be solved with a new tool. So we said, oh, we used to have version 1 of this tool, but now we have version 5, and that will solve all our problems. So we don't have to care about the problem that's really deep and super layered. And I've seen this a lot. So people, and I think this is also from the Western perspective, because we tend to think that something, or one people, or one thing will solve all our problems. So we remember when we talked about the sheep, the pastoral mindset of the Western, we tend to think that that thing will solve everything for us, and we don't have to do anything. It's just, that's it. And as problems have become more complex, we think that maybe we should go to a framework, which is kind of a little bit more loosely as a tool, and we can tweak it a little bit, and we just implement a framework, and everything will take care of itself. But things are getting more complicated and more complex and complex and complex, and we have several layers of complexity now in the problems we have to solve. And there's not one view that you can follow and say, okay, or tool or framework is, you just say, okay, I will, for example, what I've seen and I work mostly is, I want for all my teams, because never the problem is up. No. Every time the problem is in another part. If I'm in a team, the problem is the other team or my boss. And if I'm the boss, the problem is the team that's working under me. So all the time, the problem is outside of me. And we just see this little part because that's how we are wiring categories. And so I only see this little portion and I say, okay, I will solve this part. But then so many things happen and I try to solve this, and all this on the outside is a mess, a complete mess. And I say, okay, I will solve now this problem. But then again, this thing that was apparently solved again is broken. So how we solve the problems that we have to solve? And it reminds me of the movie Ice Age. I don't know if it was it 2 or 3, where this squirrel, she's trying to climb a wall of ice, and then she pokes in the ice, and a current of water starts to come, and she then puts the finger to close the thing, and another one goes out, and water coming, and she puts a nose and finger and everything, and she tries to keep it all contained until the whole whole wall of ice comes down and breaks down, and all the water comes and takes her in a huge current, like a river. And we tend to do that. We tend to just try to close one little hole in this big containing wall of ice, and in the other side a huge river, a cascade that's about to take us down the river. And it is because we are dumb? No, I don't think it's because we are dumb. Sometimes yes, but no, in general, no. It's because we can't see this picture of this thing from the outside. We're just looking at the things we have in front, and we forget about all the layers that these problems have. And I get it, because it's super different. And I've been, for example, part of a team, and I've also been a consultant. When you're a consultant, Cheryl, or a coach, or you are in another level of the problem, you will see the problems that, for example, if you are in it's like if you are up in a mountain, you will see all the landscape. But if you are in the valley, or if you are in the forest down the mountain, you might not see the whole picture. So in this case, trying to understand all these layers of complexity is really important. And for that, there are so many tools that you have to learn, not just one. And again, you really have to understand, if you truly want to solve problems, you have to understand that tools are never, never, never the smart ones. You are, because you are the one that needs to put everything together. And sometimes even that is with all if you're a genius, maybe, there are problems that can be solved, and we can talk about that in another time, because there are the wicked problems, which are super complex, and they're getting bigger and more complex every day now that we have so many tools. So you just have to be aware that somehow you have to start thinking less about the tools and maybe more about the big picture. So if you are in the middle of a problem, try to go up in the mountain and see from there if you can see something else. And also know that there are problems that might take years to solve, and in the process of solving that, it's just natural that things will happen, that you will solve this here, and maybe here everything will be broken and destroyed, and you will go to this problem and you will try to solve it, and then this will break down a little bit and you will have to go and tweak a little bit in every part of the system. So it's not that easy. But we have the illusion that, and I've seen this a lot, we have the expectation that if I hire this consultant, she will for sure help me solve everything. And I don't have to do anything. She's the one that has to do it. So I have someone to blame if something goes wrong. And it should be, we need to collaborate, and we need to work together, and we need to be together helping ourselves and using the tools, which are damn tools. But we are the intelligent ones, and we are, hopefully, we are intelligent ones. And at least we have the capacity to, if we put the effort in, solve the problems. And so, yeah, I went off topic again, but the main thing is, it's amazing to know. The more tools you know, the better it is, because in a certain situation you use this tool or that tool or the other one, or you can combine them in a specific way. I have this again about my dad. When I was with him repairing some things, maybe my dad didn't have the specific tool, or there wasn't even one invented. So he had this creativity to put things together and say, okay, I will make my own tool. He has done so many tools for himself to solve things and to repair things, and that. So you have to be able to create your own tools, which is another thing I've seen as a senior consultant. When people are starting out new, of course, they are baby coaches, and that's perfectly fine. And I went through that too. That at first I was so focused on doing things right. For example, facilitating a problem-solving activity. I was like, okay, I have 5 minutes for this and 2 minutes for that and that and that and that, and I have to take care of everything so everything goes smoothly and perfectly. But then with time, you start to relax a little bit more, and sometimes things happen and you don't have the tool, the specific tool for the moment, and you say, okay, what's the problem here? This and that and that. Okay, I will make a tool for the occasion so we can talk about it, we can discuss it, we solve it, we can do the thing we need to do. And that comes out also with practice and with being the expert at doing things. So it's perfect to be an expert. It's perfect to have many tools, but also know that if you just have tools collected, but you don't know how to use them, or you don't know how to combine them, or you don't know how to create your own tools when nothing else works, then it will be really complicated. Anyways, again, I went off topic, so sorry about that, but I think it might be helpful for you if you are trying to solve something, and if you are so focused on tools, I would say please let tools be. They are great, but they are not your second brain. They won't help you solve everything. So try to outsmart them if you can. And because it's super needed right now, like we need to think for ourselves. We have forgotten how to think critically and how to also try to understand different perspectives, listen to other people, even if we don't agree with them. I heard yesterday just this statistics that in the UK, for example, 1 out of 5 people have separated, have even left their friends because they didn't think the same thing about a topic. So it's kind of huge. And this was only amongst adults, but between teenagers, it was, I think half the people left their friends because they didn't think the same way. So I think, I don't know if it's because they don't want to confront people, they don't want to discuss or debate about things, idea, they don't know how to do that or what's going on. But we need to come back to being able to think critically, listen to other ideas, even though we don't like them. But yeah, try to understand them and try to make the best out of all those things, especially if they are your friends. Well, I don't know why you should leave your friends just because you do think differently, unless they have done something to you. But just because they think differently, I think that's kind of scary for our society. So again, well, I've talked too much, and I hope this helps you think differently. It helps you understand why you need to see things differently. Maybe. Don't take my word for it. Just do your thing. You do you. But that would be my suggestion. And yeah. So again, if your tools are smarter than you, I don't know what's next for us. I hope not. I hope you are smarter than your tools. So see you next time. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, and everything that you do in the channel, and comment what do you think about it. Maybe is that I'm just, I don't know, the things I'm saying here are not the ones you see in your daily life, or they are, or what do you expect from the future if our tools are getting smarter than us. And comment also if you have seen the movie Idiocracy, and if you haven't, I suggest you to see it, and let's have fun. So that's it. Thank you for being here. Bye bye. See you next time. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop.
Stay tuned for Ulua's next episode.